Alright, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Jeff. This time it's fresh made ravioli. This is fresh pasta, fresh sauce, fresh everything. This is everything fresh. So we start off with 5 eggs and a pound of flour. And we're just going to mix it together with our hands. Just get your hands in there, don't be afraid to get dirty. And then you got to knead the flour. It's gonna not feel very moist at first because, well, it's just 5 eggs versus a ton of flour, so just keep molding it and keep working it, and you're gonna be able to make decent dough balls like this here. And after you made your balls, put them in the fridge and leave them at least for a couple hours. The longer the better, I would say. Anyway, since we got our pasta dough done, we're going to start our filling. So we're going to do some regular mushrooms, button mushrooms, just sliced. Olive oil. Stir them around. Look at that. Looking really nice. You can do that about a medium-high heat. Give them a good little toss here. Alright, we're going to throw them in our food processor after they're cooked. Like so, yeah. And do some salt. A little pepper, some Parmigiano cheese, there we go, a good little bit there, and some minced garlic. There we go, about a teaspoon. Some fresh basil. We're just going to pick it off here, so just if you're trying to follow this recipe, just go along with what I've picked off the fresh plant here. And we'll put our lid on, and we're going to pulse it. Just keep hitting pulse until it's mixed together. And you'll see how it should look once it's done. There we go. Looking pretty damn nice there. Scoop that whole filling out, and in the pan that we did our mushrooms in, just go ahead with some olive oil, and then we're going to throw a whole package here of some grape tomatoes, and we're going to start making our sauce. I'm going to do about a quarter of a red onion. Let's get it in there. Kind of toss the tomatoes around, make them have a little fun with the onions. And then we're going to hit it with some garlic. 2 teaspoons of garlic in there. I'm going to stir that boy up. Hit it with some Cabernet Sauvignon. Probably about a cup of Cabernet Sauvignon, or whatever else you have that's red wine. Go ahead and throw that in there. About a cup. Just kind of cook that down until the wine's reduced to about half, and then throw some salt. Some pepper. And some sugar. Sugar is going to cut down the acid, so always sugar in tomato sauce. Anyway, once you've added all that, go ahead and mix it up and keep letting that wine reduce. Now you're going to dump that into the food processor with some Parmesan cheese. Let's go ahead and get that in there. Dad was over for dinner tonight, so that's kind of fun. And we're going to put some more Parmesan cheese after we got that in there. And some fresh basil. Just tear it right off the plant. Fresh as can be. Throw the lid back on the food processor and start the blending. Again, this is nice for marinara because instead of a blender, you want to use a food processor so it's a little more chunky. If you use a blender, it's going to be more smooth, but with the food processor, it's going to be more chunky. So go ahead and look at this right here. It's looking really good. Nice and chunky. You know, got all the ingredients nice and cooked, nice and soft, and they got blended up. We're just going to throw them right back in the pan, and that's going to be our sauce. So you want to keep that on a good low heat. You know, get as much out of the processor bowl as you can. Just keep getting it in there, and just low simmer it. You know, just keep it warm. You don't have to cook it anymore after that. But anyway, now that we left our pasta rest, we're going to go ahead and start rolling your pasta. So at first, we're rolling it at the highest thing, and we're keeping it there right now. So we folded it over, and we're just basically strengthening the sheet of pasta that we're making. And we're just going to keep going down the thinness settings until we get it to where we want. So we started at a 7 on our machine here, and we're going to go to a 3 at the minimum for our ravioli. So we just keep folding it over, and just basically you keep increasing the strength of the pasta when you fold it over. So just fold it over, keep rolling it, and don't ever put the wide side on the bottom. Just do it the thin way, and once you've gotten a successful roll when you folded it, you could go to the next setting, in my opinion. But so you want to go from a 7 to a 3. That's how my roller works. So as you can see, I just keep folding it and working it, and I'm gonna get it to the thinness that I want. And if you leave it too thick, it just turns out really bad. But anyway, after we got them down to a 3, we're gonna go ahead and start putting our mushroom filling in one of the sides of this pasta. Now we've done multiple rolls with things of pasta, but you know, as long as you keep it the same thing, it'll work okay. And now we're gonna go ahead and try to put our sheet of pasta that we made to go over our ravioli that's on the same size sheet of pasta. Go over the ravioli. And you just want to tap it down. You don't really want to work it too much. You can really mess it up. And once you've kind of tapped it down, just take a pizza cutter and just slice it along the places where you need to slice it. Where, you know, like you've seen raviolis, just slice it where it's thick enough to where you know you can cut it and it's not going to just start pouring out the edge, you know, like the filling. And just go along the edges of your ravioli here. There we go, looking good. Go, cut it nice there. Just kind of tear it away a little bit, it'll come up nice and easy. Everything that you've cut away from the edges of this will come up very easy. Also, you can use it to roll another sheet of pasta probably, depending on how much you cut. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, we're all done with that, and there's our 8 raviolis that you get from one of these sheets of pasta with another sheet of pasta that can go on top of it. So just use a spatula. Like if you're really worried, you can use flour. You don't have to for this though. You know, by the time you get to this point, especially if you're not good, it'll probably be dry. But just squeeze your edges and make it sure it's sealed. Anyway, we got more pasta here. I made another 8 ravioli, and that's what they look like when they're done, and it's time to boil them. Make sure if you ever do fresh ravioli that the dry side is down on the plate so it doesn't stick. And you only gotta boil it for about 3 minutes. And see that? Look at that. Looking really good. Just keep stirring it around a little bit. Letting it boil away. Like I said, max 3 minutes you want to cook these. And now it's time to strain it. Go ahead and pour it into your strainer. And just leave it in there. You don't want to put it back in a pan or anything. You just want to let the pasta be cooked and do what it's supposed to do. So you want to plate it from the strainer. So we're going to go ahead and start plating, and we're going to take it out of the strainer. If it gets too dry, use some water, but otherwise just try to plate it from the strainer. You don't want to put it back in the pan. And after you've got a few ravioli on there, we're going to do 4. Now you're going to do the sauce. That sauce we did earlier. Just go ahead and layer that on as much as you want. I personally a sauce guy, so I like to see a lot of sauce on my pasta, but some people are like, oh, the pasta. And I'm just like, oh, the sauce. But yeah, layer some of that pasta on top. Very nicely like that. There we go. Check out the basil there. Get some of this Parmigiano first before we put on the basil. Now we'll hit it with some of the fresh basil right on top. That's it. Fresh mushroom ravioli. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.